Hello, everybody. My name's Tony Chin-Quee,
And I am Frances Mei Hardin.
and welcome to Social Round.
One, two, three, four.
This is the podcast in which two of the happiest surgeon dropouts you'll ever meet give our unsolicited opinions on the states of medicine, the world at large, pop culture, and whatever else we happen to find interesting.
This is our first episode of the brand new
Woohoo!
podcast. We're going to be bringing you one episode a week. And honestly, let's talk about how this is by popular demand.
Yes. The people, I mean, you told me the people heard us on your podcast. They needed the 1-2 punch. I don't know if they understood how deeply they need it. So we're going to get pretty aggressive here with the personality and just, also just try to keep it fun, keep it reasonably light. Um, get furious, make some jokes, whatever feels right.
Yeah, we're going to keep it fast and furious. We are irreverent. I think that there's a real art to, and there's a real appetite for people who are both really intelligent and really irreverent.
And we also learn how to speak about ourselves, really with positive, adjectives here. So you heard Frances May is very good at that already. So yes, we are very intelligent, and we're gonna be very funny and irreverent. So yeah, should we just, like, hop in?
Absolutely. Hit them with the news.
Okay, so our first segment, news. So, in this segment, we'll do this every time. This is a segment in which we'll give our rapid fire takes on recent inside baseball medical news and also outside baseball medical news and also what's dope or questionable in pop culture at large because we have thoughts. So, first, we're going inside baseball. Okay, so here was a great article that our super producer Hannah found for us. So, Mass General Brigham, I don't know, are they now are they combined now? Is that a thing? I didn't know that.
That is yeah, that's almost, like, too fancy of a question for me
Oh, wait.
since I mean, I'm not, like, one of the highfalutin academics. I don't talk
Yeah,
to anyone who would even know the answer to that.
our falutin is pretty baseline. So, like, I thought it was 2 entities. I guess now, it's 1. I guess, our listeners can inform us that we need to stay better informed. But anyway, Mass General Brigham just published in the New England Journal of Medicine their findings on a 3-year pilot program that they ran. So, here was the problem, and stop me if this sounds familiar. So, the cost of living in residency is expensive, especially when you take into account that every institution has its own fixed residency salary ladder. So what that means, like every first year resident, and this has been a while, Francis May, so tell me if this is wrong or if I'm remembering it wrong, but every resident, no matter the specialty in a given hospital system, gets paid the exact same amount of money,
I believe so, yes.
right? Like
Like, a
ER,
PGY-3
ENT,
just
yeah,
compensates the same way,
yeah,
and a
everybody was
PGY-5
exempted.
compensates
Yeah,
the same way.
exactly. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's how I remembered. Yeah.
And
Um,
I will share, like, to even hammer home how consistent that is, let's say I've worked with residents where they did a prelim year or, like, didn't match, did an extra intern year somewhere else. Well,
mhm.
then when they come and they are now a PGY-2 first year ENT resident, they do get compensated as PGY-2 on that ladder, graduated as a PGY-6.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so, like, that's, like, the system, that's been in place for a long time. So, uh, this means that kind of the cost of living, is playing a major role in whether potential residency, applicants, ranked MGB highly or even applied because Boston is one of those, like, big, expensive cities, so people weren't sure if they'd be able to afford living there. So, they ran this pilot in which they allowed the residents to apply for a $10,000 a year stipend on top of their salaries. And the qualifying criteria was evidence of economic disadvantage by pretty much, they look in their past, their past eligibility for scholarship programs, et cetera, et cetera. They have this all laid out, but it seems pretty legit to me. And also, if they were to get this extra stipend, they were promised that their programs would never hear anything about this. So their, everybody that knows them would know nothing. It's only an HR thing. So that's kept kind of anonymous, which is great. And then the results of this pilot program, surprise, they got more underrepresented doctors to apply and enroll. So I already have thoughts on this. Frances May would love to hear how you feel about this.
Yeah, I love it. I'm very interested. Honestly, having myself I've been spending a fair bit of time on Zillow lately. I will tell you guys that. Like I've been looking at New York City markets, Boston, Chicago, San Francisco. Yeah, I've been looking. 10K feels low to me. I will say that. Like I
Hmm.
like this
10K on
idea.
top of a salary.
Yeah, I mean, in those crazy cost of living cities, yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like, I like this idea of this, like, additional stipend for residents. I mean, there are other programs. There's, like, Stanford, which famously did succeed at having a house staff unionization efforts. That was right, kind of during the first COVID year that that was very well publicized, and I guess from my standpoint, what was nice is that they saw significant raises across their compensation, since the house staff unionized. So instead of even a program like this where it is separated out as a distinct entity, I really like to see it every time that union efforts lead to these proportional increases in just base compensation. This is absolutely better than nothing, but this is like, as you mentioned, this kind of loophole that's from HR, not from the program. And it's almost like you just get some extra, change to probably, like, cover your cost of your rental,
Well,
to
I was
me.
just thinking about that actually. Once you brought up that it should be more than 10,000, you're absolutely right. Because what, 10,000 is less than a
Less
thousand a
than
month.
1,000 a month to
So
put
that's
towards
not
rent?
really, yeah, that's
Rent
not
is
really help
expensive.
with your rent. Like it's maybe cost of your food.
Yeah, maybe yeah, for
Um,
sure. I mean, easily groceries for the month, but I mean, yeah, being a resident is hard enough. I don't know
yeah,
any residents who spend a ton of money on food, like, granola bars aren't that expensive, and so you just
I
kind
can
of
tell you personally, I may have cooked like 8 to 13 meals in 5 years myself, and that's, like, that's not including DiGiorno's pizzas, which were, like, how I subsisted. It was pretty intense. But here's the thing, like, I was just like, of course, the answer is you get a more diverse, and a more diverse, population of residents because you know, it's the same question about, like, why a lot of, like, underrepresented folks don't apply to Ivy League schools. They feel they can only apply to state schools and that sort of thing because you're not coming from lives of money generationally or anything like you feel like, "Hey, I can only go places where I'll either get money or I can get scholarships, or I don't wanna take out loans," or what have you. Like, I was like that was me, like, I didn't grow up poor, I grew up middle class in New York City, but, like, we didn't have money, and, the higher you go, like, past college, and then you go to, like, medical school, you're getting around more and more of these people who, like, they come from doctor families, like, they come from money or comfort to some extent. They know how to deal with money, and that's, like, the biggest thing for me. I didn't know how to deal with money. Like, I didn't know how to deal with debt or credit cards. Like, I didn't know how to deal with the loans and, like, to, like, deal with budget stuff because, like, in theory, like, yes, like, I'm smart enough to figure out how to budget, but also, like and it feels like it's kinda weird and, like, sad to say it, but once you kind of get in the circles of folks who have been kinda living like that and, like, living in this way where they don't really worry about their money, um, I started kind of living in that way too, with money that wasn't mine. Like, I was doing that with the government's money, which is just like, I mean, I shouldn't have been doing that, and I probably knew better, but it's just like, it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Totally, and I can identify with yeah, we did not learn to budget growing up, and not because of an unlimited reserve of money, just more what you're describing, and then the way that I think about it, and I try to give myself grace, back in residency, especially, really residency, just I think of discipline as a muscle. and I used that to the max, to the point of metaphorical rhabdomyolysis on my residency efforts. And so I did not then also have a lot of discipline for every other area of my life, and that would include, like, financial health and literacy for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I was my whole I really only started learning it, you know, well after residency. So let that be a lesson to everybody out there. Um, Try to learn it now and don't be intimidated by your friends who maybe grew up having money. And it's okay to ask for help because this is one of those things where it almost feels impossible to ask for help when you're trying to get your finances in order. I didn't do that until I was in big trouble, which we'll get into in another podcast.
Okay, for another day. No, and I'm excited. I'm like, I'm here for the tea, absolutely, and but I think that this is important because you can see, I mean, there's many of us who, yeah, didn't come from that background. I was the first doctor in my family, and so
Me too.
there's a lot of us, there's dozens of us, but
Dozens.
because of social media especially, I just think that there's this bias where the people who are sharing a lot more, they might be coming from more, and so
Mm,
I do wanna share this quote that I really liked from the article. "I've
yeah.
always felt so far behind my classmates who came from more stable financial backgrounds, having to worry about so many extra things that they didn't have to due to tight finances. The burden of financial insecurity is significant. This helps to level the playing ground a bit and add some sense of security for us. And it also sends a message that people of all backgrounds are welcome and valued."
Yes, and we talk about the system all the time and the things that we would change and the things we can't change that drive us nuts. But yeah, this is like a concrete step that the system can make to show people that they belong when they maybe traditionally have not felt invited. So we say give them money. We say give them more money.
We say more.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, 10,000 a year is it's good, it's not great.
it's a good start for groceries, but which grocery store will we be able to purchase from
Not Whole
with that money?
Foods.
Not
That
Whole
won't
Foods.
cover a year. Yeah, if you're doing, like, fresh fruit, little containers,
If we want
from Whole Foods, absolutely not.
if they want fresh fruit, give them more money. That is what we want to see. Okay, let's move on. We're going outside baseball news. So what's medicine doing outside of our little world of academia? Now, this was fun. The title of this article was NASA and Google building an AI doctor for astronauts to use in deep space. All right. So this is, where this is pretty simple. So there's a new tool. They called it the Crew Medical Officer Digital Assistant, which will help provide medical advice and diagnostics completely independent of Earth. So this is for astronauts who are way far from home. So this project is aiming to tackle the problems of multi-year, long-distance space travel, trying to deal with issues like no real-time communication with Earth. So there's no way to send medical samples home, and also the possibility of no evacuations in an emergency. So they built an AI to kind of act as the doctor away from home. So just like so people know, because I didn't know this, when you're like on a mission and you're an astronaut and you're as far as Mars, if you send a message back to Earth, the lag on a response could be up to like 223 minutes, like each way. So that's just, if you're puking in space, that's how long you would have to wait for someone to talk back to you. So if they can make an AI doc who was trained, I read in this article or one of these articles that like they try to train these AI docs on like OSCE exams. So like they know how to talk to
Wow.
you and all that sort of stuff. Like this is real stuff. So Frances May, what are your thoughts on AI docs and more importantly, space in general?
Well, I gotta start off by hitting you with a philosophy question, which is, if an
Yes.
astronaut pukes in space and there's no doctor around to see it, is it real?
Did they puke?
Is the puke real puke? No,
Is it
I'm
real
just ki
puke? It's unclear. I'm gonna have to
honestly,
think about that.
I love it. This piece of outside baseball news today, I'm very into it. I think it's chic. I think it's chic as hell. If I wasn't
Ooh.
too old and too human, I would put my name in for this job. I actually would kind of like to be a doctor on Mars. It would really, like, resolve one of my biggest issues with medicine, which is that so many doctors are raging assholes, and
Mm,
I love
mhm.
this because there is I could just, like, kinda disconnect maybe the Earth communication and be like, "I'm just gonna practice medicine and, like, mind my own advice or, mind my own business on
Mhm.
Mars. We'll take care of the astronauts." Um, they can't there's no, like, PSNs in space. It's gonna be a minute before they have, like, peer reviews, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, I think as someone who I'm, like, very into this AI chat LLM world right now. I think it's very cool, and the things that they can do with these kind of text-based chat interfaces. One, to know the right information, and two, to sound like a nice person. Like it's like actually like if they take the time, they would, which most of the time they don't. If they take the time to really put in work on like the personality of this thing, to really make people feel like they're getting taken care of, would actually be really nice. And I feel that astronauts would like that because my thought is it's lonely out there and very far. So like even if it's a made up human sounding voice, like that could be nice to tell you like, hey, like that diarrhea is gonna be okay.
It'll pass, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Put out the
feel like
airlock.
yeah, I do think that this is me checking my own biases. I feel like I'm bringing some biases in here because everything you're describing, you're like, "It's probably lonely out there, there's no one else to talk to the AI." I'm like, if I had a button right now to put me out there, I'd be like, "That sounds good." I won't get lonely. I don't really get too bored or lonely. Like, I
Okay,
just
so we need to put yeah, so you need a mission. You need to be out of here.
this is what I'm talking about when I'm like, "I hope this email doesn't find me." I volunteer, like, put me on Mars first. I
Okay.
will greet the astronauts. Me and the AI doc jointly will just, like, start a new practice.
Okay, so just so everyone knows, Frances May is sick of this planet and all of your
Sick of all
faces.
y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just done with all y'all. She needs space, like more space than is available here. So she will take herself to Mars and she will have plenty of AI friends, or maybe not. She'll just bring some books and just never speak to anybody for several years.
Yeah, because just I hear it, Tony, because 'cause you're like, "That must be hard, like, that would be bad," and I'm like, Where do I sign?" And I know I'm ornery, but that's for better or for worse, that's what we got today.
You know what? That's real. That's all I can ask. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting, all of us, including me, know where you stand. Like you'd be better off without all of us, and that's cool. Um, Perfect. So we support our astronauts. All right. Next piece of news. Ripped from the headlines, has nothing to do with medicine. It's just some stuff that we want to talk about. I don't know when this is gonna air, Francis May, but Taylor Swift just announced a new album on the Kelce brothers podcast, The New Heights. That's Travis and Jason. And it's her 12th album. She's been in this game for
Mhm.
like a real I've been around. I mean, okay. So first question, are you a Swiftie? And if not, who hurt you?
I am a Swiftie.
Wow. Yes.
I have been around since day one. I remember being at the Illinois Math and Science Academy, my boarding high school, sitting in
Wow,
my
take us
room.
all the way back. Yes, do it.
Yeah, well, and seriously, like, again, I don't get lonely or bored, so I just sit by myself, and I used to this is, like, such a weird fact about me, people are always shocked, but when I was a kid, kind of late grade school into all of middle school, I didn't have more than one friend, but I did have the Chicagoland area country music radio station. And I
Aha.
spent a lot of time I mean, like, I grew up on Garth Brooks level, certainly Tim McGraw, all of this type of music, and so when her single, Tim McGraw, was out, I was already on the Chicago radio stations, and it was like this, of
Mhm.
course, very young girl, my age really at the time, who came out of nowhere, took the world by storm, and I still remember it from day one, and I have been here the whole time.
Wow. I mean, I think that's great. It was kind of a trick question because I'm not a Swiftie. Not that I don't like her. In fact, I remember, like, jamming pretty hard to, like, one of her first songs. Was "Love Story" one of her first songs? Like,
Yeah,
way
earlier
back,
eras.
it was an
Yeah.
earlier era. It's not like the first one that, like, ever came out. I don't know. But I was like, "Alright, I can mess with that. I can mess with that one. That's kinda I like that." And I always like Taylor Swift, but what I really like right now is this public relationship with this football guy. I mean, I'm not even into football like that, but I do like Travis Kelce because publicly what I've seen of him is he's a decent human being, both him and his brother. They're like good guys. They like end up on the right side of like the spotty history of NFL stuff that's been coming up over the last few years. So I'm like, I'm a fan of these Kelseys and I'm a fan of Taylor Swift. I think she handles celebrity with grace, and I just like seeing love happening, and that's what I was really drawn to. I was, like, having a tough night last night, so I was just online watching clips of them on this podcast just say really nice things to each other, and I thought, like, that's what I tune in for.
I mean, life of a showgirl, I have many concerns. This is the first time
Wow.
ever
Oh,
that
dear.
I have had so many concerns. Not the first time I've ever had some about her and the brand
Why?
and the boys,
She
but
makes hits. She makes hits nonstop every time.
I just I am not a theater kid. I do not identify as a theater kid. I'm more of a regular hardcore nerd and, like, manic pixie dream grown up now. But in the prior days, more manic pixie dream girl, like Chrono Trigger kind of era, and then, like, more nerddom, not any real theater kid overlap.
Okay.
This album kind of screams theater girl in a way that I cannot access or relate to. I
Only
didn't
through what? The names of the songs or, like, the
And
cover? Like, what are you
all the
going off of
covers.
here?
Yeah, all the
Just the
covers.
covers.
The title of the album, and then all the covers, I would say, mostly, like, the visual art that's come out with the album. That's what and I don't like the regular cover. I, like so many of us on the internet, think that some of the alternate covers are better. Like, she has
Course.
some gorgeous alternate covers. Really do not love the first one. And then, I just have to get this in here. I know I'm not here to
Please.
make friends, Tony, so I'm
I
not here
know
to make
that.
friends. So,
You keep a tight cap on Friends.
yeah, I don't Yeah, I want just people that I can trust and, like
True.
and I don't know, I sound more ornery with every minute, so we gotta just run through this, we gotta push through. I don't like Travis Kelce. I gotta tell you,
You don't like the Kelce.
I
Tell
don't
me.
like
You just
sports.
don't want another person in your orbit that you have to pay attention to as regards Taylor Swift?
Do not like I do not like sport, I don't like sports heads, meatheads. I Post breakup, Joe Alwyn was out here doing the Celine men's campaign on the red carpet, that kind of, like, understated like, the vibes
Is that
of
an ex-boyfriend? I'm sorry. I'm
Yes!
not in the
Yes,
lore.
that's the
I
last boyf
apologize.
No, that's
Last
the ex
boyfriend? Okay. Okay, okay.
Okay, Tony's gonna be, like, just asleep in the middle of the night, and I send him all the, like, Joe in Celine type of pics, like, no, but I guess to me, it almost comes down to, I view a guy with no social media as an extreme green flag, and, like, that Joe
Okay.
gives that, like, her ex-boyfriend, they were together for years and years and years, the Lover album is from the Joe
The Joe
years.
era. Mhm.
Folklore and Evermore, he did some writing, like, some of the most beautiful writing of her life, really, like, an interesting, more articulate songwriting era, was with Joe, not even about Joe, with Joe, and then, I view Travis like, I hold it kind of against him that we got lyrics on the last album such as, "You know how to ball, I know Aristotle." Like, that haunts me. I'm not here for that energy.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do a gentle pushback here, because I feel like see, I don't know about how long well, apparently they don't last forever, but, like, how long these relationships last when y'all are, like, intertwined too much professionally like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're dating, but he's writing for her, and they're doing all this stuff, I'm just like, "Have your own things, and then you can fully appreciate everyone's own thing. You don't have to be in like competition with each other. You don't have to wrap their relationship up in like what this person thinks as a songwriter about all the like get that out of here. Like he's just it's not, he's a football player. It is what it is. It's a world she didn't know, but now she's learning about. He's learning about her singer entertainment world, and they're just, being kind of nice white people together. Like it's all right.
Totally get it, and this is why we're here for you guys. We're gonna give you the, like, 360 views because we can just
Mhm.
wildly disagree. Kind of a
Yes.
scathing indictment from Tony on marriages such as mine. My husband and I have started multiple companies together, and I view him as, like, a the Folklore Evermore style inspo
He is
co-writer.
your folklore evermore.
Um, but
See,
Tony's
my
like,
my
"Oh,
wife
your
and I
next
are just like,
boyfriend."
Listen, she's doing archaeology. I'm over here doing like whatever doctor writing stuff I'm doing, and we can appreciate what's going on in the other room. But I'm not getting too involved in her PowerPoints about ancient burial places. Because
No,
that's fine. Take it. Take that. I will, and you can teach me things.
yes, I do think that we definitely married ours more because I've learned a ton about digital marketing. Like I entered that world for the past few years, and I mean, Colin didn't really enter clinical medicine, although he could tell somebody that it's okay if their post-op
At this
tubes
point, yeah.
patient
Mhm.
has like a small fever, right? He's
He's
like,
got it
that's
under
normal, it's
control.
okay. He's like,
Yeah.
um, okay, let me share with you. I have to read you a tweet, and like this
Ooh,
haunts me.
okay.
I know that
Wow.
I'll share with Colin later today. I'll be like, Tony and I were talking. He thinks that it never works if you like work too much together. Tony thinks that I should
Tony
date.
thinks this is a sham.
Yeah, he thinks
Ge
6'5" football player. That's what he's recommending for my next era. Um, Maybe if that guy didn't tweet like this. Okay, I'm gonna read you a
Okay,
tweet. This is from 2011.
sure.
Travis Kelce. I just gave a squirrel a piece of bread and it straight smashed all of it. 4 exclamation marks. I had no idea they ate bread like that. 2 exclamation marks. Ha ha. Hashtag crazy.
I
And
mean,
I have to, Tony, I'm not done. I'm not done. The bad
so you're
part
not
hasn't
done?
even happened yet.
Cause that part was great, so I can't wait for the bad part. I'm loving this.
How do you think squirrel was spelled? If I just told you right up front, I'll tell you it was not spelled correctly. And so go ahead, take your stab at what you think a misspelling of squirrel could look like.
Imma give him the benefit of getting the SQU, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I might go SQUERL. I like that one. That feels good.
That's amazing, and, like, honestly pretty close. So he spelled it Squirle, and
Oh,
we'll
squirrel? Wait, squirrel. Squirrel. Yeah, I'm trying to get the okay,
and
yeah.
by the way,
He
piece of bread,
misspelled, you
piece
know,
is Peice. I'm just saying, a guy with too much social media can't spell the word squirrel, like,
but
I don't
you
think you
know
should have
what?
sex with a guy who can't spell the word
First of
squirrel.
all, Frances May, um, this is elitism, plain and simple, because first things first, you can't put a price on A, kindness, B, um, embracing the wonder of the universe, and the fact that he was just pumped up at the majesty of nature, like, that's just nice. That's nice, and you know what? It's vulnerable. It's vulnerable for a man to do that, and I'm here for that. Maybe you're not here for Kelce as, like, your next, husband, boyfriend, but we can appreciate that he's probably a nice guy and fun to hang out with.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hear it because in my head, you're talking and I'm thinking, well, kindness, wonder at the universe. I have never looked for those things in any romantic relationship I've ever had in my life, and I think that that explains some of the bad times. Yeah, a lot to unpack here. I think that that's good. I think that you
This is
guys
great. You guys are gonna learn a lot about us in this in this podcast.
oh my gosh. Well, okay, I know we gotta move on to the next segment,
Let's
social
go. Yeah.
rounds.
Yes.
This is where me and Tony will become your life attendings,
Mm,
because it's abundantly clear that many of you out there are in desperate need of guidance. I certainly was back then. And so we have the kind of wisdom that comes from, hard earned living life and also comes from running out of fucks to give.
yeah. We have none left. So what are we talking about this week?
Question of the week. Is there ever a reason to wear scrubs in public?
Which one of us should go first?
You go first.
All right.
I can tell we're going to fight again.
Wow, I really hoped we didn't have to fight. But here's what I think. The answer, there is never a fucking reason to wear your scrubs out in public. And I'll tell you, you pass Tony in the street and I see you at Whole Foods buying food you can't afford in your scrubs. I'm judging you. And I'm just like, first of all, you're broadcasting filth is what's happening. You're broadcasting that you have bacteria from the hospital on your person and you're bringing it around the produce section because you're a dirtball. And you got to do better than that. I've seen people walking through airports. They're getting on planes in their scrubs like they hadn't been home before they went to the airport. And I know you were home. Like get that out of here.
Or
All
you could
right, I
change
don't
in the
care.
airport
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah. And I think honestly, I have these thoughts, and it goes back to like med school, where I had this buddy, and it was the first year of med school, really the first month of med school.
My
Like we
gosh.
had just gotten our white coats, right, the short ones, right, and um so it was cool. We had the right coat ceremony, all that stuff. And then we all like went out to the club to like go dancing. And my dude like wore his coat to the club to try to like let ladies know, you know, that he was like on the way up.
An
You know
up
what I'm
and
saying? Like
comer.
he was
Yes.
the up and comer, like he's a good investment. Get involved right now. Let me buy you a drink with my scholarship money. Like I was it was funny at the time for like a few minutes, but then I just felt so bad for him and whomever he might dupe. And
Yeah, yeah.
that same sort of broadcasting of your lifestyle, I've been allergic to for very long, and it's just egregious when it comes to scrubs. And that's
Yes.
that's what I think.
Okay, it is so interesting because I actually agree with your interpretation of it, and I'm gonna give you a different, like, point B to end up at,
All right, all
which
right,
is
all right.
I agree with you. Is it giving a little bit gamesmanship? Is it
Mm-hmm.
giving, "I want to stunt on you. I'm gonna let you know I have a job that merits wearing scrubs."
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume the implication is that that means I have an important job. So I'm here to stunt on you. I'm showing up in my scrubs to anything other than something in the hospital. I'm gonna stunt on you. Well, Tony's allergic to it. Tony's like, "There's
Can't
no
stand
time
it.
and place for that."
Get it out of
And
here.
I'm like, all's fair in love and war. So if you are doing that to put out this mating call of like,
Not the mating call.
like I'm here, I'm available, I'm DTF, like what's up? Then I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle. I will tell you one of my favorite quotes of all time. And I used to quote this sometimes. I remember even in residency, I was telling them, because in the OR, people would be like, what's your favorite quote? I'd be like, okay, my favorite quote: everything in the world is about sex,
Mm,
except sex. Sex is
okay.
about power.
Mhm.
Oscar Wilde.
Good
So,
quote.
Tony's mad. Tony doesn't want people to ever have sex. He's like, if you're a hospital person, just like keep your scrubs off and like, go study. Talk to your AI friend. And it, I'm saying I respect the hustle. And so you're not going to be judged by me. I will assume that you're wearing your scrubs because like you're trying to send some kind of message societally, culturally.
Alright. Okay. This is horrifying that I mean, my first problem, okay, which I know you agree with, is a hygienic problem, right?
But what if people are
Can we
wear
agree this is a hygienic problem?
it is if they're dirty scrubs, I agree, but what I do see a lot is that people either wear clean scrubs out or they even change into different scrubs to travel home from the hospital, and then I would argue the hygiene problem is
Should the general public make that assumption? They don't know. They just assume anytime the general public sees someone in scrubs, you must assume they just came from the hospital. They
yeah.
just did some doctoring or nursing, right? That's what
I
normal
just
people
don't
think.
think that they know how gross it is. Like, I disagree with you, and I think people who, like, don't work in a hospital because they see scrubs and they think, "You're Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy," and I don't think that they are truly aware, like, "Oh, you got
And
trach secretions on you."
you know what? And the fact that we know how gross it is and you feel like, you know what? That's just peacocking, bro. You gotta let them know what time it is. Like, absolutely not. Like, we're learning some
Like a public
troubling.
health
These are
peacock.
yes, this is a public health problem, and we're learning some troubling developments about how you view how you view courtship and and sexiness out in the wild. Like, we got some problems here because uh yeah, if you're so what like, ew, gross. Don't wear them. Don't wear them. And you know what? If you're thinking that, maybe you're sniffing around for a partner or someone who's like down for something, and you see someone walking around in the don't go sniffing around. Listen to me. Don't listen to Frances May. Don't go sniffing next to that person. Odds are they're dirty. And they think they are like hot shit in a way that's probably going to annoy you later on.
100% Tony. I am not saying marry the person who's wearing scrubs.
But we might.
I'm yeah,
Anyone
don't do
might
that.
marry the person. Like,
I'm
try not to marry that person. Anything can happen. I don't know. But I'd say don't even open that door. Keep it shut and fucking deadlock it.
a lot more to, unpack here,
So much.
certainly
Wow. We're getting
our
carried
dating
away,
advice. It
everybody.
should be
Yeah.
like a full dating kind of hour,
We
but
we we will get to dating at some point. It's gonna be great.
our last segment for today, surgeons read mean tweets.
Yes. Like, okay, so people don't like know me really well online yet because like I don't tweet. I try not to. That may change because we get wildly, famous off of this podcast. But like I don't get a lot of mean tweets because I don't talk online. But the internet loves to send really obnoxious messages to Frances May Hardin. And that's just because she has the audacity to like share her life journey with people. So she needs catharsis and validation. And you know what? We shall provide. So I'm gonna open it up. Francis May, you just let loose. We gonna take care of you. Hopefully, we get some audience responses that support you as well. Or maybe you'll just be, the sloppy animals you all are in the internet, and we'll have to put you on the next episode. So take it away, please.
Yeah, seriously, the reframe is actually really nice because now every hater is like, "That sounds good, man." Like, me and Tony were farming for, like, more content for our weekly show. So, okay, this one's perfect. I've said this before, but brevity is next to godliness. This message came in 1 week ago, 3:35 AM. I'm not trying to diss you or anything, but how come all you medical professionals look psychotic? Capital P in the word psychotic, which is a very interesting stylistic capitalization choice.
Hmm. Um, what does psychotic look like?
Capital
If you
P
were to pick,
psychotic.
yeah, but like no, like on the face, like this person says, like looking at you and every other medical person, we're looking psychotic. What's the look? What do you think it is?
Sometimes when I'm recording my videos, I have like big eyes and I don't blink
Oh,
very
like you don't
much.
blink.
And then
Yeah.
people
Okay.
find that like I've gotten a lot of comments that are like, this is AI. Like you guys are so dumb, you're fighting over AI. And it's just me like not blinking the
It's
regular
like,
amount that
guys,
a
it's just my
human being
face.
would
What's
blink.
going on?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We don't like. Do you have the I was curious what their tags are or their names. We call them screen names anymore. Like what they call them?
The screen name, uh,
Yeah.
they have 0 followers in one post. It's 818 Voski. probably
So it's a
some type.
bot then. Yeah, that's
But
not a
do bot
real person.
it's just a robot? Oh my god. I've been fighting with
Yeah,
robots this whole time.
ain't no
God
real
damn it.
person online sending you stuff and has only posted once and has 0.
Okay. The only thing that I would say is that I've definitely heard of sometimes people will make burner accounts just because they actually understand how the internet works, so they don't say hateful stuff from their account. So, like, a 0 follower, 1 post, sometimes it's purely that they use it for, like, recreational
Just
antagonizing.
hatred.
Okay.
I yeah, uh, our producer, Hannah, says, "No, that's not a real
Did
human."
not pass the Hannah test. She's like, "Absolutely not. It's a robot." Okay, well, Hannah, I didn't grow up in an AI world, so I can't 100% tell the difference
Yeah,
sometimes. Okay, this one's signed by a name, and we won't blow up the spot of the guy, but I will tell
reasonable.
you, it comes from a business account, an ENT practice in
Business.
New York.
From a practice.
Well, the account is the practice, and the man signed it with his legal name.
That's so stupid.
I know, but
Why are people dumb? Okay, go ahead,
and
sorry.
yeah, I am not here for I'm not gonna blow up his spot, like,
Oh, that's
it
so nice of you.
yeah, seriously, because it's not about that, but I do want people to see this because I think this is really, like I'm also ENT trained. Your platform is dissuading people from going into medicine. Seems like you had an unfortunate experience in residency, but my opinion is you're doing more harm than good. I trained at Mount Sinai in New York, and we all had a wonderful experience there. It was grueling, but we all came out as great doctors and close friends. Prospective surgical residents see your posts, and it scares them. Your experience is not, all caps, typical. Just thought I would share that with you. Wishing you the best. Full sign name. What's craziest before I hear your response is that this person is not much older than me. Same age group.
I would have
Probably
that's
around your class, Tony. So
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Um, did you look up this person? Do they have a picture? What is the caucasity of this picture?
Hi.
It is high to quite high. Um,
Very high. 5
yeah,
out of 5.
Imma tell you something. There's a lot of white guys who have a great time in surgical residency. They have a great time, because that world was built for them, by them. It wasn't built for me, and it wasn't built for Frances May. And you know what? Um, yeah, we're sharing, and you do, more sharing than I do, of the challenging parts of training of this world, and you're saying a lot of stuff that people don't feel that they can say. Is it scaring people off? Probably not. Like, that's a dumb thing to to assume when someone is just sharing their opinion. Like, all these people that you were in training with and had a great time ostensibly, you think they would have been scared off of applying because there was a surgeon saying like, "Hey, some of this sucks?" Like, it's not you're not we're not scaring people off. This is a valid shade of the experiences that people have. It wasn't yours. Well, yours wasn't ours. So, and yours
Yeah,
isn't
I know
necessarily
it,
typical either, bro.
but I don't question that. Like, I believe it. When he tells me, because actually he sent other messages and said, "I have never seen this before." Especially, I think
More,
this was all
more
precipitated.
messages.
Yeah, it was precipitated by that video of that surgeon who was live streaming himself and then screaming at the scrub tech or first
Wow.
assist. And he just said, "I've worked with over 70 surgeons, never seen this before in my life." Like, and you claim that it's prevalent. And like that video, was extraordinarily popular. Hundreds of people were like, "I have had this personally happen to me in the OR." Yet this ENT was like, this is less than 1% of all surgeons. Am I saying it could happen? Less than 1% of the time. It's really false advertising for you to say this is common. And I just think that I believe him that he thinks that it's not happening, but it's so funny how it never works the other way where like they just think that I am making it up for some reason. As if I would like also by the way that I would make up a story that could be embarrassing. Like, why would I make up a story where I'm like, "Anyway, they screamed at me and then, like, I cried." Like, that is actually in direct violation of my peacocking rules that I have in place. So, like, that does not
Yeah.
make me look cool or like a viable sex partner. So, like, I would not make I promise you, if I'm gonna start making shit up, it's not going to be unflattering in that fashion.
Mhm. It's just think like the idea that because you haven't seen something that it must be so atypical that you could put like this must be only 1% on it is so ridiculous, right? Like it just like is it screams that their entire world they see so myopically and with such blinders, right? Just because I have never seen it, it can't exist, and that just invalidates so much of the world around you. Um, and you don't understand the fact that, like, we could say this, he could listen to it. He might even he probably listen to you. He's probably one of your biggest fans because he just like keeps listening to this stuff. Because honestly, he can't help knowing that like he secretly wants to hear about this stuff, but he doesn't realize he's telling on himself in this way that's kind of embarrassing for him. Which he'll never feel that embarrassment, unfortunately. But I think it's just it's weak, and I don't want to hear that anymore. Get it out
Ye
of here.
Yeah, I know. Tony specifically asked me, we were gonna do 3 tweets today. He specifically asked for a nice one as the 3rd so that we don't end on,
Yeah.
like
You know what?
yeah.
Because kindness, which I alluded to earlier, in the spirit of Travis Kelce, we really should end with kindness.
Yes. Yes. Maybe you can convince me someday. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I mean, I think being kind is important, but I would not say that I look for it or that maybe I respect it in the way that I respect other traits. Hannah's worried. Hannah, the producer's, like, giving
And
me, like, the
you know
cut
what?
it
Hannah
out
should be
sign,
worried.
"Play
These
me
are
off
all
the stage."
troubling
Yeah, yeah,
developments.
I know. Everyone who works with me is like, "Play her off the stage." Okay, here's a 3rd tweet. This one was so nice. It's from, like, this past weekend, and it says, "Whoa, just now putting together that you're the same Frances Mei who was crushing it on the volleyball court when I was a sophomore at IMSA." Smiley.
Oh, no way.
Yes,
That's
and there
awesome.
really is, like, only one Frances Mei, so for sure, if you knew, like, any other 6 foot half Asian Frances Mei, pretty incriminating. I can't be like, "That's weird, that was a different one."
Yeah, it must have been the other
If
one.
she was a
Yeah.
jerk in high school, but I was the dumb jock at IMSA, and it is nice to have people bring that up again because I haven't gotten to be that person for some time. Maybe that's why I don't like Travis Kelce because 'cause I'm like, "That should be me."
See, I'm really see, this is what people don't know they're tuning in for, right? They're tuning in for therapy, they're tuning in for evolution, all in
And the
one
lore.
episode. The lore is just deep and vast, and it's wonderful. And I would say thank you to uh, that person
Yeah,
who remembered Francis May the Jock just handling business on the volleyball court. I think that's great. Well, we did it. This is episode 1.
we did it.
Uh, I had a blast. I hope everyone had fun, hearing about the pathology beneath the 2 of us, and there's gonna be more where that comes from. We're way weirder than you could ever imagine. So we just wanna sign off. We wanna say thanks for tuning in. This has been Social Rounds on the Hippocratic Collective, and once again, my name is Tony,
And I'm Frances May.
and we'll see y'all next week.
We'll see you next week. Tony calls it pathology, and I would call it the reasoning. It has to come
Dear.
from somewhere. Okay.
We're getting into the youth verbiage. All right, we'll get into that one next week.